Have you ever wondered how a modern corporation is really built? I'm not just talking about the products they sell, but the actual DNA of the company itself. Well, today, we're going to peek behind the curtain of one of Indonesia's heavy equipment giants, PT Hexindo Adiperkasa. We're going to use their own reports to trace this incredible 15-year journey from, well, explosive growth to a mature, modern enterprise. All right, let's get into it. So let's just start with a number that practically jumps off the page. 351%. In 2008, that's how much Hexindo's net profit skyrocketed in a single year. I mean, that's not just growth, that's an explosion. This one number really sets the stage for the entire story, a story about a company riding a massive wave and trying to figure out how to handle that incredible success. So our first stop is this period of intense, almost chaotic expansion. We're looking at the company's early years where this ambitious vision collided with a perfect economic storm, and out of it came an absolute powerhouse in the Indonesian market. And you can really feel the energy in this quote from their 2008 annual report. You can just feel the optimism, right? This isn't just boring corporate speak. This is a victory lap. They knew they were onto something massive, and it was all being driven by the huge demand from Indonesia's key industries. So how did they even get to that point? Let's do a quick run-through of the origin story. The company gets started back in '88. They lock in that crucial exclusive deal with Hitachi in 1990, and by '95, they're on the stock exchange. You can see they move fast and built a really solid foundation right from the get-go. And this right here shows you the real-world impact of all that growth. It's one thing to see profit numbers, but it's another thing entirely to see the human scale. Their workforce more than doubled. Think about that. That's not just hiring a few people. That's building an army to support that 351% profit boom. Okay, but that brings up a huge question, right? When you're growing at lightning speed, things can get messy really fast. The wild ride of all that expansion creates a brand new problem. How in the world do you build a stable structure to actually control the incredible machine you've just created? And that brings us to the second phase of Hexindo's story. This is where the focus shifts from just getting bigger to getting smarter, to getting more organized. This is all about building that sophisticated corporate machinery that you need if you want to last for the long haul. The key to this whole phase is a concept called good corporate governance, or GCG. To put it simply, it's the rule book for how to run a big company the right way. It's about accountability, fairness, and transparency, making sure you're protecting everyone from the smallest shareholder all the way up to the board. For Hexindo, this was the absolute critical next step. So how'd they do it? Well, they built these pillars of oversight. Each committee here had a specific job. You had the audit committee checking the numbers, the risk management team looking out for threats, and compliance making sure everyone played by the rules. It's like a web of checks and balances to make sure decisions were being made responsibly. And this wasn't just some internal project. Hexindo started adopting global best practices. Now, things like ISO certifications and JSOCs might sound super technical, but what they really mean is a commitment to operating at a world-class level. It's a huge signal to the market that says, hey, we're serious, we're professional, and you can rely on us. All right, so you've got the growth engine humming. You've got the controls in place, but what's next? The structure is built, but how does the company evolve its soul, so to speak? How does it become a truly modern corporation that thinks beyond its own bottom line? And this leads us right into the third and most recent act of Hexindo's story. This is where the company really starts to look outward. It's where the focus shifts to its broader impact on the environment, on society, and on its own ethical standards. We see a really important shift in thinking here. Early on, the company did what we call corporate social responsibility, or CSR. Things like donations, community programs. But later, that evolved into a full-blown ESG strategy. And the difference is huge. ESG isn't just about giving away money, it's about weaving environmental and social thinking right into the core of how you do business. And why does this matter so much? Well, take a look at who actually owns the company. With nearly 90% of shareholders being from outside the country, the pressure to adopt global standards like ESG becomes immense. This chart just shows that Hexindo isn't just playing in the local market anymore. It's competing on a global stage for investment. And a huge piece of this modern approach is a commitment to internal integrity. Hexindo put in place a formal whistleblowing system. Now, this is not just a suggestion box. It's a protected, confidential way for employees to report wrongdoing without being afraid of backlash. It's really a cornerstone of a transparent and ethical company culture. And if you break it down, the system is pretty simple but so powerful. You give people a safe channel, you guarantee an independent review, and you actively encourage them to speak up. It's a proactive way to build a culture of integrity from the inside out instead of just reacting to problems after they've already happened. So, after looking at these three really distinct eras, what's the big takeaway? Well, this whole journey gives us what we can call the Hexendo Blueprint, a fantastic case study in how a company can evolve and grow up over time. This table just puts it all together perfectly. Back in 2008, the company was laser focused on one thing: explosive growth. Its governance was just getting started, and its social role was basically charity. Fast forward to today, and the focus is on sustainability and managing risk. The governance is mature and complex, and its social role is a fully integrated ESG strategy. The transformation is just night and day. So the blueprint is a clear three-act story. First, you have aggressive growth to grab the market. Second, you build the governance to manage that scale. And third, you mature into a responsible leader that's focused on sustainability. It's a really powerful progression when you see it laid out like that. And this leaves us with one last big thought. Hexenda's story maps out this path from a single-minded focus on profit to a much more complex model of principled performance. And when you look at the demands of today's world, from investors, from employees, from society, you just have to ask, is this the essential blueprint for what it takes to build a company that not only succeeds, but actually endures?